Are you ready for some communism? Because that's what we're here for. We got a communism meeting to attend. Right now, we're dressed as a cop. We've got our boombox in one hand and our gun in the other. But, if we're looking to impress the communists, it does occur to me we do have one piece of clothing that maybe they would be into. We can demonstrate our communist cred. Let's see. Where we got it? Looking around for... See, right now we're wearing the lieutenant's cap. But is there some... Do we have another hat? There, that's what I'm thinking of. Revolutionary's hat. There we go. They will love this cap.
This hat is so soft, so warm. It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles with all manner of socio-economic theory.
This is an Ushanka, right? As we pat the hat.
Kraz Mazov would have worn this Ushanka. Mazov knew where to cook those thoughts. That's why it bears a Mazovian logo. Glory to the revolution, comrade. Whether you like it or not, wearing this hat has made you more communist.
That's the idea. All right, let's head to the meeting. Now, someone mentioned that the apartments where this is taking place is near where Cindy the Skull is. So I guess let's head over there and see if we can find... There we go. We want this communism meeting to have the appropriate music now, don't we? Yes, we do. One side, out of the way. Oh, what's that?
Master Investigator, you just can't keep yourself away from locked and hidden places, can you?
It is my duty as a cop to investigate every square inch of this world.
Attaboy, the world's secrets were made for you. They wait patiently for you to uncover them.
Oh, we just got a thought out of nowhere there. And yes?
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism. In other words,
inspect the symbol closer.
The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Why is the star upside down?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it.
Why white?
Because white is the color of peace.
What does it invoke in me?
Gone. Gone is the glory of hope. Only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways.
Now that gave us some damage. Might as well use the remaining magnesium we have. Let's see. Let's head up to the balcony. Oh, we should read the text on that thought we just got. The Jamrock Shuffle. Oh, this is not where Cindy is. I think she's on the other side of the building. Let's see. Jamrock Shuffle. -1 esprit de corps because of confusing behavior. Research time 1 hour, 5 minutes. By now it's clear that you like to look inside containers. You like to open doors and see what's behind them. Maybe secrets? Maybe more juicy containers? Let's be honest, you like all containers. Trash cans, utensil trays, manholes, coat pockets, secret containers left behind by the Philippian kings that hold forbidden relics. Okay, you haven't come across one of those yet, but one day. Wait, is that why you're so hellbent on opening containers? Do you think you'll find the Holy Scepter and the Orb de Montan? That's a curious one. I do like containers. I mean, honestly, if we were going to internalize another thought, kind of like the sound of that one. Hello, Cindy?
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Nothing new there, it seems. All right. What about this door? No, this is we have been in this room. Oh, but tiny 100 feet scurrying beneath the grate, the rats of the city. Fire. Suddenly you feel like the box is on fire. Why? I don't know why. Oh, Perilodon's in here. Sure, we will take it. Why wouldn't we take it? Wonder if someone put that there since we were there last. Because we've been in that room, I'm pretty sure.
As you approach the metal grill, you can hear several voices having what appears to be an animated discussion. This must be it. Beyond this door lies the beating heart of radical communism in Martinez. Somehow, the night air softens the smell of trash and sea brine. As the breeze pulls through the canvas like a shuttle through a loom, you catch a hint of something unexpected. Something earthy, warm, and burnt.
What could that possibly be?
The acrid smell of failure. No, that's just slightly burnt coffee. A smell you would recognize anywhere.
Ah, just coffee.
Just look at these pigs sniffing about after hours.
Why didn't you say the secret door was right behind you?
Must have slipped my mind. You know how it goes.
She gives you a lackadaisical shrug.
The metal grill is cool to the touch. You notice the lieutenant is looking uncustomarily anxious. His posture is rigid. His right hand hovers near the zipper of his jacket.
Well, no, I can't notice that because Kim's still at the bottom of the stairs.
He wants so badly to draw his armistice, but he also doesn't want to draw it.
You okay, Kim?
Oh, I'm fine. I was practically born to infiltrate underground communist cells.
He takes a quick look over his shoulder.
Which is just to say, we should be prepared for any eventuality.
Try to listen.
You can make out at least two separate voices. Two voices, both male, approximately early 20s.
Careful with those now. I have it. It's going to work. I
All right.
can feel it.
Let's just bang on the grill.
The clang of metal reverberates all along the scaffolding. The voices coming from the other side fall silent.
Hello? It's your local communist cop. I want to talk to the communists.
A pair of frightened hares cowering in some dark crevice of their burrow.
I was told there's communism in here. I would like to partake of it.
Who's there? Is that you, Maurice?
Are you all communists? I am looking for some communists.
Who said communist? Did we say communist? Get out of here.
Listen, I've already built like 0.0001% of communism, but now I need to get organized. Can you help me?
For a moment, silence. A slight sensation of static electricity as before a storm. A miniature conference is taking place inside, and you are the subject.
What's the passphrase?
Blessed are the sausage grinders. We awake to the silent mole empire. Disco supernova 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember Dolbreva and Abananese? I don't know.
Not a chance. We can't afford to compromise on our operation. Not at this point. Come back when you know the passphrase.
Look at that! The pig's trying to break in without the passphrase. Tisk tisk.
The girl shakes her head slowly.
Let's go, detective. We'll get nowhere standing around in the snow.
The lieutenant brushes a few scales of snow off his jacket.
The metal grill is cool to the touch. The long stretches of canvas billow like sails in the night breeze.
Hey, it's me again.
You hear the voices conferring once again.
He came back? Do you have the passphrase this time?
Can I get a hint about that password?
Not a chance. We can't afford to compromise on our operation. Not at this point. Come back when you know the passphrase.
Look at that! The pig's trying to break in without the passphrase. Tisk tisk.
I'm not trying to break in. I just wanted a hint.
Let's go, detective. We'll get nowhere standing around in the snow.
The metal grill is cool.
Hey, it's me again.
Conferring once again.
He came back? Do you have the passphrase this time?
Well, the one that sounds like it would most likely be a password is remember Dobreva and Abedizaniz.
There's no response. You begin to wonder whether they've slipped out some back way. No, they're still there. You can feel them back there.
All right. The key's taped to the back of the door frame. Just make sure you put it back when you're done, or we'll all be locked out. And do watch the concrete. It just kind of falls away, in places. Charmant. After you, detective.
Have fun at your underground meeting, pig. Hope it's a blast.
Thanks. We're gonna make some new friends.
The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance. Their attentions are fixed on whatever it is they're stacking in the middle of the floor.
I mean, there's no point in ignoring me. I'm blasting my music in this room. You can't pretend you don't know I'm here.
Matchboxes, it appears.
I think it's holding, Alexis.
It is. It's holding.
Careful, careful.
Is that a metaphor? Is that a metaphor for communism?
Damn, hardly any difference.
The young man shakes his head and then looks up at you and the lieutenant with barely concealed irritation.
You two, you are late.
I'm sorry I'm late for the dominoes.
They should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
His companion looks up at you and I'm sorry, I had to get my gun back. The gun I'm holding right now. Do you like it?
One leader and one follower. The most ancient power dynamic.
What am I late for exactly?
Are you saying you haven't done the reading for tonight?
Oh no, was there homework? Uh-oh. No one said anything about reading. You'll just have to wing this one. The reading. Yes. I've definitely done that.
You have? Excellent. Let's hear your critique then.
I thought the themes were interesting.
They always say that when they haven't done their reading. Well, this is getting awkward. I'm not sure what you're expecting to find here then.
There's profound consternation in his voice. You suspect it's about something bigger than your not having done the reading.
Maybe they can explain themselves.
What were you doing with those matchboxes just now?
The young man frowns at the little pile of boxes on the floor.
Nothing, just messing around until the meeting started.
They're watching those matchboxes awfully intently for two guys who are just messing around. It's almost as though they were trying to create the most unstable structure they could.
What exactly are you two doing here?
In the most generous sense, I would say we're cultivating revolutionary consciousness.
Yes, that's probably the best way to describe it.
But more specifically, we are running a reading group. The most rigorous and theoretically advanced materialist reading group in Martinaise.
Comrade Steban is a great discussion leader. One of the best at the university.
Yawn. Can you imagine anything duller than a bunch of binoclards yanking each other's knobs?
Is this where I can square off in theory combat?
We have been known to get into some spirited debates, but it's always in service of our larger intellectual and ideological project.
Precisely. We are not interested in senseless parroting. We like to read critically.
Within the contours of Mazovian historical materialism, of course.
So what does your reading group actually read?
We study all the foundational texts of Mazovian theory, of course. Just last week we finished the second volume of Puncher and Watman's Innocence of Capital.
Truly extraordinary.
And before that we spent 6 weeks on State and Plasm.
Uh-oh. You can feel your attention span rapidly deteriorating.
Look, I've been in that situation, and there's no point trying to fight it. Let our mind wander.
Your attention detaches. The voices of the young men fade away. It's a cool evening, you notice.
Listen for night sounds.
Out beyond the dull chatter, you catch the sound of a distant seabird, and of course, the sound of the large stretches of canvas that cover the missing sections of wall. The way they billow in the night breeze reminds you of something.
A patch of ocean turned on its side.
That must be it. You imagine yourself in a small dinghy buoyed along gentle swells. In another life, you might have made a fine seafaring man. Who knows, you may become one yet. Gradually, the pleasant sensation recedes. You turn your attention to the two young men who appear just about finished.
And before that, there was Abelard's Impé Infernal.
But, of course, our special emphasis is on the theories of Ignace Nilsson and his followers, especially the inframaterialists.
I know who Krasmazov is, but who is this Ignace Nilsson guy?
Only Krasmazov's most trusted lieutenant, the evangelist of the revolution, and the founding father of the People's Republic of Samara.
It's hard to overstate how unimpressed he is that you've never heard of this world historical individual.
He also happens to be the greatest communist theorist after Mazov himself. It was Nilsson who first postulated the existence of ideological plasm, which forms the basis of inframaterialist theory.
Oh, can we talk about this plasm?
Plasm, huh? Sounds like a hell of a drug. You might want to ask about it.
I don't know if it's what electrochemistry thinks it is.
The young man sighs. His companion looks about furtively.
Where's the rest of the reading group?
What do you mean? This is the reading group.
Shouldn't a group have, like, more people in it?
We're in something of a rebuilding phase.
Some of our former comrades didn't have the ideological fortitude our work demands.
By work, do you mean reading? It sounds like it's a lot of reading. What happened to them?
Intellectual attrition is maybe the best way to describe it. Felix said he couldn't keep up with the reading on top of his classwork. And Susanna wanted to read text other than Mazovian theory. Like novels, if you can believe it.
What? Novels. Unbelievable. I'm shaking my head in consternation.
See? Even a gendarme gets it.
Fiction. Feh.
We've tried recruiting new members, but unfortunately the current intellectual climate is pretty hostile to inframaterialist thought. These days, if you're on the left, the ascendant schools are the Gotwaldians and their iconoclasts.
Don't forget about Maurice and the turnips.
Oh, tell me about Maurice and his turnips.
Right. Then there was the whole turnip debacle.
I'd like to know about the turnip debacle.
Whatever this turnip business is about, one thing is perfectly clear. These young students have a much deeper understanding of communism than you do. You could learn a thing or two from them. If you can convince them, you're one of them.
Did you say something about turnips?
It's an unfortunate story. You see, our ex-comrade Maurice is something of an economist.
He's studying macro and microeconomics.
That would make him far too powerful. He must be stopped.
Wow, a real intellectual, it sounds like.
The lieutenant arches his eyebrows.
Right. So a few weeks ago, we were discussing the extra physical capabilities of the revolutionary state. And Maurice said, what were his exact words, Ulex's?
It was unbelievable. He said, turnips don't care if they are grown by communists, moralists, or Vulcan. They grow just the same.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm following him so far.
Basically, he was rejecting the whole foundation of inframaterialist theory.
Remind me what inframaterialist theory says about turnips again.
Simply that under suitably revolutionary conditions, crop yields naturally increase relative to non-revolutionary crops, which Maurice somehow has the gall to deny.
Is that correct? Crops grown under the revolution, there's an increase? Do the plants know about the revolution?
Susanna said that he has been hanging out with some non-communists lately.
For us, the question boiled down to, if you don't even accept the basic ideas of Nielsen and inframaterialist theory, why are you in the reading group?
I know, I totally understand.
Of course you do. It's pretty basic stuff.
So you expelled Maurice from the reading group about an argument over turnips?
Well, it wasn't so much that he was expelled.
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
What about Cindy? Is she part of the group?
Cindy is... how to describe her role?
Something of an ideological auxiliary, perhaps.
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. And naturally, we support her radical counter-liberal aesthetics.
But she refuses to submit an essay, so we can't call her a member of the group per se.
Well, yeah, Cindy seems interested in maybe painting a mural. Maybe not necessarily writing an essay on the crop yields under communism.
That doesn't stop her from using the room for studio space, of course.
Who are the iconoclasts?
For starters, they love talking about beans.
What's wrong with beans? I like beans.
Oh, sure. But iconoclasts are obsessed with beans. They love thinking about beans. They love counting beans. But most of all, they love building models to predict how many beans there'll be in the future.
Future-telling beans.
They're by far the most bean-centric school of communism.
I wasn't aware there was a bean-centric school.
Ah, yes, the much maligned bean counters, ensconced in their think tanks and high rises, believing they can save the world through a series of incremental, assiduously technocratic reforms.
Are the beans a metaphor?
If only. They've got all the beans accounted for in their asset sheets, their quarterly budgets, their future projections. But for some reason, there are never enough beans to go around. So we've just got to cut our bean rations in half.
And next thing you know, there are budget cuts, so now we've got to cut the bean rations in half again. You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists, but in reality they're just liberals with hard-ons for spreadsheets.
And what about the Gottwaldians? What's so bad about them?
They're the most depressing school of communism. They love writing long books with a patina of Mazovian theory to cover up their cheap psychologizing.
A gang of cheap psychologists and intellectual midgets. Typical Gottwalders, in other words.
It's okay for Uli to say that, because his dad is from Gottwald.
Oh, well, yes, of course. I know I can't say that. What's so depressing about their theories?
The Gottwald school believe that intellectuals as a class are incapable of sparking revolutionary change. So all they can do is critique capitalism from inside itself. That's why they spend all their time smoking cigarettes and writing long works of criticism that make you want to commit suicide.
Does sound kind of miserable.
It is miserable. That's probably why they're always committing suicide. You see, the Gottwald school look like communists. They talk like communists. But scratch the patina and you'll see beneath that they're just depressed liberals who who've read too many books.
It sounds like most of these groups are just liberals after all. Not too many true communards here. What about the liberals? Are they liberals too?
Of course not. The only people who actually call themselves liberals are mouth-foaming reactionaries.
Basically indistinguishable from fascists. You'd need an X-ray machine to tell the difference.
Oh, you're talking about classical liberals. Yes, I know. I've heard enough. Let's talk about something else.
Go ahead.
Did this reading group have anything to do with the lynching? I know it's a kind of a far-out question, but we might as well ask.
Lynching? No. We're not an operational cell.
We think of ourselves as more of an intellectual vanguard.
Okay, but what's your group's stance on the lynching?
Our stance? What? Do you want to know if the SRV has established a party line on the lynchings in Martinez?
Yes.
Though historically speaking, the SRV has supported direct action against right-wing paramilitary squads. Especially when they are doing the Indo-tribes' dirty work.
So you support the lynching then? That sounds like that's what you're saying. You're pro-lynching mercenaries who are working for the company.
Good point. So as a provisional matter, I can say we support it.
I mean, that's not a, it doesn't sound like a controversial stance in Martinez. It sounds like most people support what the union's doing.
Are they being sarcastic? You feel like you're caught in some elaborate joke labyrinth, but it's impossible to see your way through. It's always that way. Beneath the crust of irony, there's a molten sincerity that threatens to erupt forth. You may witness it yet.
We have to poke through that armor shell of irony. Is your reading group affiliated with the union somehow?
No, we're an independent organization. We acknowledge and respect the union's efforts, but our interests are more theoretical than Mr. Clare's.
Well, yeah, Mr. Clare, I don't think he's really into theory. He's more into direct action, I would say. I'm guessing that Everard Clare doesn't really read many of the necessary texts. Probably has not written many reports on communism, I would assume. What's your stance on crime in general?
That's easy. Crime is simply the inevitable expression of the injustice and incoherence embedded within capitalism itself. It's a symptom, in other words, not a cause.
He waves his hand as though this is all to say on the subject of crime.
His companion can barely suppress a yawn.
Can there be no crime under communism? Are there any operational communists in Martinez?
No, unfortunately. The communards were hunted down and killed nearly to a man. All that's left of them are bones and old rifles.
Like this one.
His companion's eyes widen as you hold up the ancient weapon. He's practically itching to stick that thing in someone's face and pull the trigger.
And he wants to put some theory into action, it sounds like.
Yes, like that one. I wonder how many of these are still lying around in cellars or sealed up behind the masonry.
He knits his brows together, then looks up.
Can I hold it?
Yeah, sure.
It's heavier than I was expecting.
The rifle rests in his open palms. The position reminds you of something.
The attitude of a priest bearing one of the holy relics of his faith. Though it is long out of service, its power is evident to him.
Yeah, like a long time ago, there was a day that this gun brought forth the glorious revolution onto Raphael.
When he's finished, he returns the rifle to you with a nod of appreciation.
Is the reading group accepting new members?
We typically only accept new members once per semester. There's this whole process with essays and presentations on assigned topics.
I mean, if there's one thing Raphael loves, it's essays and presentations.
But given that we have some extra seating at the moment, I guess we could be convinced to expedite an application or two.
Wonderful.
Steban, you can't be serious. For these gendarmes?
Hey, imagine if you could add a couple of cops into your ranks of communards. Those would be powerful allies to have. Get this, get the system from the inside and all that.
I am serious. As materialists, we've got to adapt to conditions as they are. Besides, he'll still need to pass the interview portion of the entrance process.
Oh, there's an interview. Well, there's one thing that Raphael can do. He can sweet talk his way into the organization.
Assuming he's even still interested, that is.
What? Plus 10 unstoppable literary worm? Is that what that says? Where is that from? Well, let's see if we can change clothes. Will you still be here if I have more questions?
Sure. We're here most every night. Maybe we'll catch you again.
Sleep well, gendarme.
Oh, many orbs. Coffee. At the bottom of the pot, an isle of black sludge rises from a shadowy sea. This new translation of real and reality is garbage. The poster reads, "Under the cobblestones, communism. The only class I care about is the working class." That's a good poster slogan. This one says, "No war but class war." A rickety easel surrounded by pots of gauche. Cindy's, no doubt. Could it be the Phasmid? No. Well, no. Probably not the Phasmid. Try not to think about the cracks spidering out across the floor. Reflective construction vest. +1 endurance, -1 reaction speed. Let's have a look at that. +1 endurance, safety first, -1 reaction speed, impossible to miss. A ludicrously reflective safety vest like those favored by construction and road repair crews. Comes with a replaceable battery back. Makes you feel like a deep sea anemone. The check was composure, right? Let me just check that again.
The gendarme returns.
Yeah, composure. Oh, let's ask about this. I'm guessing these pots of gauche belong to Cindy.
Yeah, it's hers. She just sort of moved it all in a few months ago.
She said if she's going to make truly radical art, she needs a suitably radical workspace.
And I don't think she could afford rent at an actual studio.
Do you like her art?
Oh, sure. It's definitely interesting, I would say.
Wait, I thought interesting was what people said when they don't have anything real to add.
His companion's eyes widen with interest. He has a cold smile.
Come on. It's not that I don't have anything to say about Cindy's art. It's more that I'm still working out the details. It's a complex question. You've got to take your time with it.
You flustered the poor boy. Now he's got to say something.
I guess you could call her latest stuff a sort of counter-bourgeoisie calligraphy. She's got a real taste for radical slogans.
It's too bad she hasn't developed the theoretical foundation to do truly radical work.
I think she'll get there, though. She's still looking for a subject equal to her ambitions.
You know, we haven't actually seen any of Cindy's work. I mean, we can see something here, but we haven't really seen any of her finished works. Now I'm wondering, what's the deal with this place?
The deal? At a fundamental level, I guess you could call it the shattered bones of a dream crushed by capital.
That's really good, Steban. You should save that for an essay.
Thanks, Uli. When the idea is sound, the words just sort of flow.
Okay, but what is this place?
It's an old construction site. They've been trying to restore these apartments for years. But as you can see, they haven't made much progress.
His friend yawns, evidently bored by literal reality.
Yeah, it's only theory for him. Let's move on.
Go ahead.
Okay, so 72%. Let's see. Do I have anything on composure right now? Does not seem like it. Let's put on some composure clothes. I have at least one composure thing. Yeah, the shoes. The windbreaker.
The gendarme returns. What do you need?
92%. I still would like to know what unstoppable literary verm is. Let's see if it helps us.
What's there to be scared of? You've really been cracking the books these last few days. You can go toe to intellectual toe with any reading group in Martinez.
It's true. I've read Him Dollar Man, and then the Him Dollar Man book with like the Devil Woman. Oh, I did read that magazine early, the Communist magazine. I read that. That was something I read. I also read the book about medicinal uses of the pale. I read the book about cockatoos. We've been reading all kinds of things.
Now, chin up. You've got this.
This is just the group I've been looking for. When do we start?
Oh, you want to start now? Sure, we can manage that.
You've caught him off balance. The momentum is already in your favor.
Go ahead and take a seat. Since we haven't had time to prepare an exhaustive questionnaire, I think we can keep this interview more freeform. Why don't you tell us a bit about the books you're interested in? And we'll just see where the conversation goes.
Well, you know, like you guys, I really get into political and historical subjects. Oh, yeah, I did read that book about the greatest innocence. That's historical and political, so this is not a lie.
Absolutely. It's the only proper foundation to develop a real understanding of events.
Once you've got a political lens, you can read anything critically. Even those T.M. Dollarman books. Have you guys read those?
Interesting. Say more about that.
I would love to.
This is a good start. They're starting to loosen up. You feel relaxed and in control. Soon, you're in a lively back and forth on the political substrata of the Him Dollarman universe.
I'm all in on explaining the viewpoint of the men from Hyundal on communism.
Even if they won't admit it, these two love blood and sex as much as anyone.
Who doesn't?
But don't you think that pornographic fascist mythology gets pretty tiresome after a few books?
I mean, no way. I mean, if that was true, how come there's like 60 of those books?
Of course you do. I just hope when you're reading it, you've got a sturdy pair of gloves on.
Can't let any of the dreck rub off on you.
These kids are eating out of your hand, practically. Another quarter of an hour disappears. The questions come rapid fire, but you have an answer for every one. Now you can sense things starting to slow down. The interview must be reaching an inflection point.
But to Comrade Ulix's point, isn't there value in reading really difficult books, just for the sheer challenge of it?
Listen, books are fine and all, but to be straight with you, there's no substitute for a real story.
Okay, we'll bite. What sort of stories are we talking about?
A real-life procedural, complete with gory details. Give them sex and drugs. They're clearly not getting any on their own.
Let's just say the human body starts to do weird things when it's been in a tree for... Well, actually, electrochemistry says sex and drugs. We can talk about drugs. Let me tell you about that time I woke up and completely forgot what money is.
Oh, we're getting into the psychiatric pathologies of life under capital. Let's see where this goes.
Yes, I'm rather curious myself.
Now you're getting somewhere. These boys aren't even bothering to contain their interest. They want to see how you weave the threads of this story together.
I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like to wake up with no concept of what money is.
If you encountered it in a novel, you'd say it sounded like a plot contrivance or like a fantasy.
But isn't the point that money is itself just a collective fantasy?
Perhaps. But it's a fantasy that pays for things. Like your hostel bill.
But Kim, technically it was those spinners that paid for my hostel bill. And like the money is just an imaginary middleman.
No, it's just like Mazovrot. The freeman of the future will be he who awakens in perfect ignorance of capital.
That's me.
Wait, Steban, Are you saying the gendarme is some kind of future communist?
Another quarter of an hour disappears. The conversation bounces back and forth. Whatever their pretensions, it's clear these two have been craving something real. Now you can sense things starting to slow down. Time to wrap this tale up.
And anyway, even if you could somehow unpeel time, it wouldn't be the you who gets rich from those. I really would like to know what sentence we're finishing here.
But that would imply that whenever you unpeel time, you leave behind some kind of doppelganger in now time.
Good God. Have we really been talking about unpeeling time for a quarter hour?
Kim, it's a complex subject. It takes some time to really get your teeth into it.
I suppose we'll have to leave it there. But listen, gendarme. We could use someone with your breadth of expertise. With just a little more theoretical background, I think you'll be able to make some real contributions.
Yes, I would say he's got serious potential at least.
And with that, welcome to the most ideologically advanced materialist reading group in Martinez. Here's your first assignment. It's an overview of inframaterialist theory. A little basic, as you'll see, but one has to start somewhere.
I'll add it to my very extensive reading list.
You're going to fit right in, I think. Come back when you're done. We'll be here pretty much every night after 10 p.m. Do be sure to take your time with the reading. We'll be eager to hear your thoughts.
All right, let's take a look at the task, get ourselves organized, read a brief look at inframaterialism. Concise introduction to inframaterialist theory intended for a general audience. You can tell this particular copy has spent a lot of time in someone's back pocket. Well, we could read it now, but I mean, I don't know if it like, can we have a conversation about that if we read it now? Or do we have to come back the following day? Unsure. But I guess we could read it now and see if they have anything new to say afterwards.
The cover of this pocket-sized volume features a swirl of orange, yellow, and green. The title, A Brief Look at Inframaterialism, is set in an authoritative yet approachable serif font. On the inside jacket flap, you find a brief summary. What is inframaterialism? A highly theoretical branch of Mazovian communism? A collection of mystical ramblings by a discredited revolutionary? Or possibly both? This brief look, TM, introduces readers to one of this century's most fascinating and misunderstood theories in a concise, jargon-free manner.
So far, so good.
You turn to the table of contents. The guide itself is divided into several sections with seemingly esoteric titles like Effects of Plasm on Root Vegetables and Mental Projection and Transference. There's also a brief introduction about the life of Ingus Nielsen.
Let's read the introduction of Ingus Nielsen.
Known to his numerous admirers as the evangelist of the revolution, and to his even more numerous enemies as the apocalyptic Shrike, Ingus Nielsen remains one of the most controversial and fascinating figures to emerge in the years of the anti-centennial revolution, second only to Karamazov himself. During his unparalleled life, he helped guide a revolution in one country and found a new state in another. Along the way, he committed some of the most notorious war crimes in an era famed for its atrocities. And yet, his most fascinating contribution to history may be the most overlooked. His theory of ideological plasm, from which his followers and successors developed the school of communism known as inframaterialism.
What is this plasm?
If you're like most people, you probably believe that your thoughts reside in your brain, right?
Oh, we've encountered this idea in some other games.
That's not right at all. Thoughts don't exist in the brain. They float through the air. Your brain is but a fish, swimming through them.
Honestly, I have no idea where some of these thoughts come from.
This sounds more like a question for a psychiatrist. See also a brief look at psychiatry. But let's stick with Ingus Nielsen a moment. As Mazov's devoted comrade and leading theoretician, Nielsen was responsible for developing much of the intellectual foundation of communism. But his interests and speculations were famously wide-ranging. During his final years in exile, he produced, among other things, an early guide to home brewing, instructions for raising revolutionary children, plans for a universal pictographic language, and a detailed materialist critique of Dolores Day's chess strategy. But one subject he returned to time and time again was the fundamental relationship between thoughts and matter. We may yet discover, he wrote in his notebooks, that under certain exceptional circumstances, the proletariat's embrace of historical materialism may be so fervent that their beliefs take form in the world of matter as a kind of revolutionary plasm.
Hold on now. Can you put that in slightly more basic terms?
Certainly, in essence, Nielsen is arguing that thoughts don't just reside inside the brain, they radiate outward from it. According to this idea, the brain is an ideological transponder, constantly emitting waves of highly politicized energy, which Nielsen called plasm.
Whoa.
Whoa is right. What's more, Nielsen speculated that this plasm, when it becomes powerful enough, might begin to influence the material reality surrounding it. Hence the name, inframaterialism. Unfortunately, Nielsen passed away before he was able to develop these initial ideas into a full-fledged theory. That work was left to subsequent generations of communist theorists. Building on Nielsen's basic insight, these theorists reached a startling conclusion that a sufficiently revolutionary state might begin to exhibit certain extra-physical effects based on the amount of plasm generated by its citizens.
So these people are saying that if enough people just believe in communism, it will come true?
The actual theory is highly technical, but for the purposes of this brief look, TM, that's a fine working definition of the concept.
There's probably something wrong with this theory, but you're the kind of person who believes anything they read in a book. So why don't you just roll with it? All right, let's hear about this extra physical stuff.
Inframaterialists divide the extra-physical effects of the revolutionary state by the level of plasm required to achieve them. At the lowest, or first level, revolutionary plasm is believed to stimulate or invigorate matter without altering its essential properties.
That sounds like the business with the turnips.
Precisely, though plasm does more than increase vegetable yields. It may also influence the physiology of revolutionaries themselves. It's also been postulated that plasm may account for the remarkably full and manly facial hair observed on many communist males.
Stroke our beard proudly. That's like one of the main reasons to have a beard.
Of course, inframaterialists argue that revolutionary plasm may stimulate human physiology in other ways as well. Oh yeah, we're talking about white-hot communist sex, baby.
All right, let's read about that.
That's correct. Reports from the revolutionary period claim that the most radically devoted communards were able to engage in vigorous intercourse for up to 8 hours at a time.
Wait, so communism makes you fuck a lot?
8 hours? There's no way. Your equipment would be mashed to jelly.
Even endurance feels that this is not possible.
No wonder the communards couldn't shoot straight. They were too shagged out. Sexual euphoria. Increased sensitivity to stimulation. If you didn't know better, you'd say this plasm stuff sounds a lot like being on amphetamines.
You're saying that maybe this feeling didn't come from within, but maybe from maybe from something from the outside.
And on that note, you feel like you've gotten the general idea of inframaterialism, enough to carry on a basic conversation at least. But if you'd like to go even deeper into some of the more speculative aspects of the theory, you could always read further. The book fits quite snugly into your palm. It would also fit comfortably into a jacket pocket.
Well, we could keep reading later. Just want to know, does that mean, can we ask them about this now? Yeah, there we go. Let's talk about inframaterialism.
Yes. Let's get right to it.
Can we get to the white-hot sex part?
His companion leans forward, ready to jump in. These two are full of interesting stories and rumors about Nielsen, Mazov, and their revolutionary exploits. Half an hour passes, and the conversation gradually wends its way to some unexpected places. A cool breeze coming off the bay wraps itself around the Capeside apartments, in a nearly forgotten part of that glorified construction site, surrounded by rusted pieces of scaffolding and walls of faded tarpaulin. A detective of the RCM debates the intricacies of an abstruse theory with a pair of university students.
But if it's true that this individual possesses so much capital that light literally bends around him, then that must mean...
Yes, we're talking about that guy. That capital, well, no, that light itself is a bourgeois illusion.
Or it suggests that capital, in sufficient quantities, must exhibit its own plasm-like qualities.
In Innocence of Capital, Puncher and Wortman argue that communists must possess as little capital as possible in order to keep their thinking undiluted by its influence.
Again, he was just a regular high-net-worth individual. There was nothing extra-physical about him.
Now the breeze has subsided. All is still except for the last bits of steam rising from the coffee pot.
Well, on that note, I think we can call it an evening.
Yes. One of our better discussions lately, on the whole.
Well, hang on. Is that it?
What do you mean, is that it? You've done the reading, we talked about it. What more do you expect from a reading group?
What if I have more questions, about communism?
Well, you could always ask, I guess.
The two young men look at each other a moment.
We probably won't get a better chance. Honestly.
But it's getting late, so maybe pick the most important question.
Oof, low, 8%. Need a minute to think about it.
Come on. We have things to do in the morning.
Kim, what should I ask?
Detective, how should I know what questions you have about communism?
Unfortunately, well, this is a red check, so we only have one shot to do it. Maybe the chat can boost our int a little bit to increase those chances, but won't be by much. It won't be by much. Rhetoric has always been low for us. We've never been able to do much with it. Though we were able to open up the container with the light bending guy, and that was a rhetoric check. Can we pass this one? 17%. Come up with the most important question about communism.
The question you mean to ask is both very complicated and incredibly simple.
Now what is the most important question?
Take a deep breath. Best to go one piece at a time.
If communism is all based on theories that are impossible to prove...
The young man waits patiently for you to finish.
And we all waste our time arguing over who's secretly a liberal or not.
Yes?
Say it.
What's the point?
The young man considers your words for a minute. You're witnessing his ironic armor melt before you. This is his true self you're seeing now. There's something going on in there, but his innermost sanctum is still beyond your reach.
The theories Puncher and Wortman, not inframaterialists, but theorists nonetheless, say that communism is a secular version of Pericanasian theology, that it replaces faith in the divine with faith in humanity's future. I have to say, I've never entirely understood what they mean, But I think maybe the answer is in there. Somewhere.
But what if humanity keeps letting us down?
Nobody said fulfilling the proletariat's historic role would be easy. It demands great faith with no promise of tangible reward. But that doesn't mean we can simply give up.
Even when they shoot at us?
Especially then.
And of course, we'll be shooting right back.
So young, so unbearably young. Why do you see the two of them with their backs against a bullet-pop wall all of a sudden? Their faces blurred, yet frozen as though in ambrotype. You were never that young, were you?
I guess you could say we believe it because it's impossible. It's our way of saying we refuse to accept that the world has to remain. Like this.
Broken.
Yes. That's a good way to think of it. Broken. But not irreparable.
It's a nice thought.
A thought can be a very powerful thing. That's the whole idea of inframaterialism.
His words aren't really directed at you. He's wrestling with himself now.
Esteban, it's getting pretty late.
You're right. We should clean this up and get going.
Well, I guess we're off.
Wait a minute. If you don't mind. We wanted to get your opinion on something. A few little changes we've been thinking about.
What kind of changes?
Nothing too major, I think. We were talking potentially about relaxing some parts of our admissions process.
Well, it probably would help if you didn't make people go through a whole interview just to join.
That's interesting. I saw people loved group interviews.
Sure, who doesn't love being interrogated by the tribunal?
I thought so too, but perhaps we overdid it, just a little. There was another thing. We were also debating putting up some posters around town.
Though some of us maintain that advertising is an unacceptably bourgeois tactic.
It sounds like something Cindy could help with.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I guess no one could accuse Cindy of having a bourgeois aesthetic.
Plus, I've got the perfect place in mind. Put some more coffee on, Uli. We've got a long night ahead of us. We should probably get Cindy in here too. Oh, and Gendarme. One last thing. About that question you asked earlier. It reminded me of a certain poem that you might appreciate.
Ah, so he has read something besides his books of abstruse theory.
It was written by a young communard who was killed on the barricades during the Coalition landings. The story goes that he wrote it on the last night of his life, keeping watch from the barricades in the middle of the night. I don't have the whole thing committed to memory, but there's a line in it I think about sometimes.
What's the line?
In dark times, should the stars also go out? Anyway, good night to you.
And now we leave. And we have finished the communism side quest. Let's see. I think that was listed as done. Yeah, it's get ourselves organized. Right. So return to the group for discussion, and that was the end of that quest line. So yeah, we had a really intellectually rousing conversation. And it was all due to us being such a fan of Hyum Dollar Man. That was able to bridge the gap. Hey, Cindy.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
I found your drugs.
They just might be. Rough stuff. If you take the ride, you'd be wise to buckle your little pig belly up.
I like bumpy rides. Know where I can get more.
We apologise, but we're currently not buying the entrapment you're selling. Please call again later. Thank you.
She smiles at her own joke.
If you're really interested, then I'm sorry. But I don't do anti-radiation drugs anymore, so I don't know where to get them.
Where did you get these then?
From a guy on Buggy Street, Porta Rosa. Go there after midnight, and you can get all kinds of funny things. Veterans of the People's Pile selling their stash.
Damn me and my affinity to farm animals. she's probably thinking. She hopes the information is useless.
Well, it's late at night, but we still have something to do. After having this intellectually rousing debate about communism, we gotta get a child to smoke some cigarettes. Can't forget about that. And that means we have to put Kim to bed. Unfortunately, due to everything we've been doing, there just wasn't enough time to put Kim to bed and then go talk to Klasya. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever get around to that conversation. But due to Kuno never sleeping, I'll go this way, ever, that means even though we're in the eternal 2 a.m., Kuno will still be awake, standing in the snow. What's that? Etched into the wood, barely visible. Remember the rest is lost to time. How sad. Kim, you want to get... Okay, here he comes. So we're going to go to our place, which will get Kim to go to bed, and then we'll head back over here to talk to Kuno one-on-one.
It's getting late and it's snowing. Time to call it a day.
Good night, Kim.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
See you then. And of course, we turn right back around. Now, of course, a while back, Kuno felt like we owed him a gift and has not really been talking to us since then. That was a while ago at this point. And it seems like the only thing we have left that we could possibly appease the Kuno with are cigarettes. But Kim will not let us give the child cigarettes. So we have to wait for Kim to leave so we can actually do this. And so now, here's our opportunity. All right, Kuno, time to light one up with the police.
Have you come to make your offering to Kuno?
Oh, we can offer him the liquor. I thought it was going to be the cigarettes, but I guess not. Here's a drink, kid. It's alcohol. This should make us friends.
Stay the fuck away from Kuno. You smell like bum shit. Kuno's not a bum. Kuno doesn't touch that shit.
Why?
What? Do you think Kuno's fucking 80 years old? Trying to bring me bum juice? Make the Kuno paranoid?
You don't like the Kuno doesn't like alcohol?
Just because you get high off that shit doesn't mean Kuno has to fuck himself with that fermented piss and shit mix.
Well, I'm surprised that Kuno is not into liquor.
Trying to get a 12-year-old hooked on the shit shake?
He looks like he can't believe your depravity. Well, I could offer him speed. I think Kim probably disapproved of this, so let's try this again.
Really? Shit. Let Kuno sample it then, pig.
He almost starts grabbing for it, but then rebounds and runs his hand through his hair.
fucker! Kuno ain't buying that entrapment shit. Taking Kilo from the pigs. What? You think Kuno's green shit?
He doesn't want to. He thinks it's going to be entrapment.
Kuno's shit is green.
The little whatever it is behind the fence shrieks.
You need to rethink your tribute to Kuno. Kuno's not taking the cage just because you fucked yourself in the face.
I'm pretty sure we tried the Purolidon and he did not want it.
Oh, not this dreamer shit again. Why do Kuno's bitches always try and bring Kuno that lame sha-la-la-la bang shit? Kuno's not a fucking witch doctor.
It was only once. And you fucking asked me to nick it, Kuno.
No, I didn't. It's fucking Kuno. Say it right, bitch. Say it like it's said. Anyway, Kuno doesn't do that radioactive shit. Makes Kuno's dick fall off. Kuno's got a huge dick.
All right. Okay, here's the cig. Okay, I guess I tried the cigarette option before, but Kim probably did not want me to do it. Let's try it now.
Okay, Porkson.
There we go.
Keeps Kuno sharp. Helps Kuno think. Kuno likes that brain boost shit. We're cool now, but don't be pulling this shit on Kuno, or Kuno's gonna have to beat the shit out of you again.
All right, now we can talk about some serious subjects with Kuno. I know you took the locust from the traps the cryptozoologist set up.
Yeah, Kuno took the bugs, so what?
So it wasn't the phasmid. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
I was really hoping it would be the reed phasmid that ate the locusts, not you, Kuno.
Yeah, well, Kuno's all you got, bitch.
You say you don't give a fuck about bugs, then you go and build a whole bug town.
It's not Bugtown, it's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends.
Stop!
She wails from behind the fence and buries her face in her hands.
You stop. It's like their fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
Sounds like Kuno West does not appreciate the locusts.
The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort. The lameness is causing her physical pain. The damage may be permanent.
I see. It doesn't really have much to do with the locusts. It's just her physical revulsion to lameness. What are you, some kind of artist now?
Maybe I am.
Maybe you should listen to your friend Kuno. Art's lame as hell.
Oh, Kuno! It's so lame, even the pig knows it's lame. Please stop!
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free.
He tears at the buttons of his shirt, trying to rip them open. They don't give way.
Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
A leaden silence fills the yard.
In it, you hear snow melting, dripping from the eaves. Someone closing a window.
Let's say nothing.
Without a word, she disappears entirely behind the fence. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face. Use this momentary confusion to take control of the situation.
What's gonna happen to the locusts?
Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die.
I need you to stop taking the locusts from the traps, Kuno. Come on, Kuno. Just stop taking the bugs from the traps.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. She was right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno.
What does City of Locusts mean?
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Fuck.
Turns his face up to the heavens.
Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. Now it's all fucking lame.
All right. I better be off.
The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
The Insulindian phasmid. He mutters to himself.
He recognizes the name.
Wait, you know what the Insulindian phasmid is?
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
There's silence between the two children. They're not saying anything to each other, nor looking in each other's direction.
All right, so there is an empathy check. Let us see if we can power up our empathy. We already got a +1 on the empathy from the biker cop Sonnies. This coat makes us very empathetic. Pity we can't impress Kuno with the Him Dollar Man shirt. Empathetic shoes. That's negative empathy. Suppose I don't need the communist hat right now. Probably should put on my encyclopedia hat back on. Okay, empathy now has a +3.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Pretty high at this point. Let's first ask about this. Kuno, I found your shack.
You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How the fuck did you get in?
I phase shifted through the roofing material, Kuno.
Shit. Get the fuck out of here. You can't do that.
He can't do that, Kuno. He's trying to fuck at you again.
Pigs can't displace. Can't do that teleport shit.
He says to himself, then turns to you.
How did you like it in there, pig old boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool shit there, right?
What's with the pig head?
Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
Demo tape? Like some kind of a musician?
Yeah, Kuno plays on snuff radio, fucks pigs, live, fucks their heads off. Kuno's a cop killer.
Kuno, I don't think you fuck pigs to death on live radio. I'm going to say that's probably not actually something you do. Found a plate covered with powder residue. Do you know anything about it?
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the fucking lightning in there, pig.
All right.
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom.
Or can we go do other options for that?
The fuck do you want with it?
Seems not.
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom.
All right, 97% empathy, +3 hero with a bullet, but -1 because Kuno dominated us, but +1 because we talked about the kingdom, and +1 Kuno talks to you. 97%. Give me a way to connect with Kuno.
You were too pushy last time. Think this through. Try to really understand the psychological bond Kuno has with Kuno S.
Yes, this is the second time we have passed this check, but it didn't turn out so well the first time. What's the deal with Kuno S?
Just look. While Kuno has no problem being near you, she always hides behind the fence, afraid for her life. Like she's done something very bad. She came up with that psychopathic scheme of screaming for help before. Kuno just wanted to talk to you about his name. Kuno S was the one who wound him up and directed him.
Yeah, saying I was digging my dick out. That was a while ago at this point.
Also, Kuno hasn't stopped talking to you, even enjoys it from time to time. When you talk to the other one, it's like talking to a cornered animal. She only hisses and says murder was the case that they gave her. All in all, Kuno respects madness. You cannot hope to outdo her on that front. You must win yourself a few minutes with him alone.
Kuno, psst.
Fuck you whispering about?
He whispers back.
He's whispering too. He's going with it. But watch what happens.
Fuck you, It's whispering about.
If Kuno wants to whisper, he's gonna fucking whisper, okay? Let's whisper, pig.
This is it. You've got him. But be careful. You can still fuck this up. Don't make Kuno look bad in this.
Okay, well, clearly we picked the first one last time. What's up with her? She's terrifying. Crazy scary.
Crazy? You don't know the half of it. She's not crazy. She's insane. Dangerous. She's smoked a man. She's done people in. Probably even pigs.
Stop talking to him. Kuno, I'm fucking warning you. You're gonna get us into shit.
She understands what you're trying to do.
Yo, see? Did Kuno not tell you? Kuno told you. Kuno talks to whoever he wants. Talk, pig. Kuno's got it under control.
He hunches down again.
You did it. They're separated. He's even turned his back to her so she can't read his lips.
What do you mean she smoked someone?
Kuno means she killed someone. That's right. She's a killer. Like, actually a killer.
His little green eyes are fixed on yours.
You serious about this killing business?
Killing is serious shit. Kuno's always serious about the 488.
488. The criminal code doesn't go higher than 190.
She's probably killed a pig too. I mean, I'm pretty sure she has.
Alright, how many cops has she killed then?
Forget Kuno said that. Kuno was just shitting. Kuno was just running his mouth. Kuno's stupid like that.
He feels eyes on the back of his head and stops.
There's something cold in the air, like water lapping against cold stones, or dripping in a hallway nearby. 3 years ago, there were shoes in the corner. The creature peers at you both from over the fence. There is something searching in her eyes. Fear. Fear of the truth.
You said she's insane?
Yeah, she's psycho. None of that kiddie psycho. Cat burning shit. She does the real deal.
What's the real deal?
Snuff radio shit. Believe me, pig, you don't want to know.
What's that language she uses?
Fuck knows. She says it's the song of her people or some shit.
What people?
Crazy people. The fucking Nakis. I don't know.
Sounds boreal, like something from the tundra and tiger-covered Cutler, Isola. Far, far away from here. As far as possible, really.
Do they have red-haired people there?
You mean evil little red-haired people like her? Yes, they do. The Suruese have that ginger gene.
Kuno, could she be Suruese?
Surois? Like that man from Helmdall shit? She could be. She could be that Helmdall shit.
Revelshot does have a small Suruese community, or she climbed into a yakberry crate and was shipped over accidentally.
Is she your sister?
Fuck no, she's not me sister. She's just a stray who got in. Like a mad dog or some shit.
Stray?
Yeah, she was just there.
He points at the apartment building behind the fence.
What was that, Kuno?
The little one twists her neck looking at the building.
She was in the hallway. Dripping wet. By the fucking shoe rack. In the dark.
Why was she dripping wet?
Kuno's got no fucking idea. Her hair was all wet. I think she pissed on the floor too. She was there for 3 days, in the corner, every time Kuno went out.
You said she got in? How?
I don't know. Someone left the door open. Kuno comes home and she's sleeping under the desk, under a pile of clothes, like a dog.
What about your parents?
Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit. Doesn't even see her there, or thinks it's fucking Kuno. Shit's all on Kuno.
Do you think she has anything to do with the dead man?
Kuno wasn't around, and C was with Kuno. Told you this already.
Where were you?
Look, Kuno's gonna put you at ease. We didn't do it.
Yeah, by this point in the game, I think that we were not suspecting the kids. How are you dealing with all this?
How's Kuno dealing? Kuno's dealing just fine. He doesn't need you fucking with any of it. C doesn't either. Kuno's got this shit under control.
He spits through the gap in his front teeth. She needs professional help. You can't do this alone.
Listen, listen. C is Kuno's go-to. Kuno's protecting her. You fuck with C, you fuck with Kuno. You threaten her, you threaten to take her away.
This is what it all comes down to. He needs you to take him seriously now.
I'm going to kill you. I'll run when you put the cuffs on her, sneak up on you later, and fuck you up. You understand?
The boy looks you in the eye, black pupils trying to focus.
He may not be able to do it, but he will try. Right now, he believes he will.
Understood, Kuno.
All right, now we can do business.
He's breathing heavily. That took something out of him.
Business.
Yeah, what do you want? Kuno can hook you up with...
He starts, no longer whispering.
Don't hook him up with shit, Kuno.
See, relax. He respects the Kuno. Kuno made him respect the Kuno. You respect the Kuno, you get all kinds of shit. Kuno's gonna get you hooked on illegal narcotics if you run a little errand for the Kuno. Get you hooked, pig. Get his hook in you. Then Kuno gonna get you hooking for more. Cash in big style. Pig hooker. See, it's tension and release with Kuno. Now we releasing. The pant buying shit, that's on now too. 90% discount for Kuno's pig. Kuno can flex.
Wow, a 90% discount on the phone pants.
Kuno flexes for hobos. Kuno sees you're in need.
Let's see, +1 savoir faire, +1 physical instrument. Hell yes, let's buy the pants.
Here, pig. We're phone now. Performance buddies.
Kuno unzips his jacket again and pulls the pants out of the plastic wrapping.
Kuno can already see you soaring through the air like a fucking eagle. Pig's in Kuno's debt now. Money debt.
What was that about running you an errand in illegal narcotics, Kuno?
Kuno gets it from his dad. Kuno and his dad are major suppliers. That's where Kuno gets his lightning on. Problem is, Kuno and his dad had a little falling out. Now junkies clawing at Kuno's door. Streets going mad. Kuno's got to throw his dirty popo man at it.
Okay.
Dirty popo man is you. In there is Kuno's violent dad on steroids. Kuno's dad does steroids and speed. If you can take him, you can have half of the speed.
Who is your dad, Kuno?
Kuno's dad is a fucking monster. He's the most violent man in Raphael. He doesn't give a shit about a single thing. He drinks too.
You know how you'd be best off here? With a gun. Best have it in your hand when you go in there.
How much material are we talking about?
Like half.
Half of what?
A baggie, but like in this vial.
That's not very much material at all.
Fuck you talking about half a G? This shit is giant grade A shit. So clean you can barely see it.
You can barely see it because there's barely any.
All right, I've made up my mind, Kuno, and this is what's going to happen.
Okay, Kuno's listening.
Let's see. Going in there, guns blazing, to get the speed because we need it. Going in there not for the speed. I'm going after the most violent man in Revachol. Going in there for justice. I'm a narc, Kuno. I'm going to confiscate that crap. I'm going in there for justice. I'm a narc, Kuno. I'm going to confiscate that crap. Lie, you need speed. I am not going in there. We do want the speed. Why don't we leave this choice to the chat? So, we don't use the voting option very often. Why don't we do that here? Which option does the chat think is the best one to go with? Number 1 was winning at the very beginning there, but number 2 does seem like it is going to be the victor. There we go, 59%. We're going in there, but not for the speed. We're going after the most violent man in Revachol.
Sure, whatever. If you survive, make sure to bring that shit back to Kuno. Kuno's almost out. You wouldn't like the Kuno when he's out. Just get in the apartment building. Kuno knows you already fucked your way in. Kuno knows everything.
He aggressively points at his eyes.
Go to room 12, first floor, and kick down the door. Police violence style. Kuno style. And then it's action time. You're locked in the room with violent fuckheads. That's it. Next time Kuno sees you, you better have his shit.
All right, I'm off.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Okay, so split a kilo with Kuno and enter flat number 12 in the Cape Side Apartments building and get Kuno's speed. Sharing it with him will cement your friendship, and who knows what secrets it will lead to. Get speed from Kuno's apartment, take down Kuno's dad, optional. We also did this, missing insects case. Okay, so tomorrow we can talk to Lena and Morel about what Kuno has said. Report our findings. So I'm wondering, do we want to do this on our own, or do we want to wait for the day when Kim's with us? Because, like, the part about splitting the kilo with Kuno, I assume Kim would not be thrilled with. But at the same time, Kim would probably be in favor of taking down the violent, abusive father. And we would want to hear his opinions on that subject, so maybe we'll wait for him. That's probably what we'll do. When we should take a look at our pants. Fallen modular track pants, +1 savoir faire because of the spacious crotch liquid fit. +1 physical instrument, performance unlimited. Entry-level Fallen modular track pants, meant to get the urban athlete started down the Fallen path. Labels say hydrophobic 100%, Symantec, and Fallen Morova Lab, creating an air of pseudo-scientific mystery around these pants. They feel rubbery and futuristic to touch. Alright, well, if we're going to wait for Kim, probably that means we can go to bed and end day 5. It's been a very busy and productive day. As we run around the streets of Martinez with our boombox continuing to blast. I'm just happy that we get to advance the Phasmid quest, because right now, that's basically the most important thing to me, finding the Phasmid. Oh, she's still awake. What are the odds of dating her without Kim here?
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast.
Very low.
Officer.
It's very low. It's still 3%. +1 because we're carrying the Amber Die. But even though Kim's not here, we're not getting that debuff. It's like still, you know, nothing.
It's getting late, and it's raining.
We're in the shack, and someone mentioned that since we have the means to increase our encyclopedia, maybe we should give a try looking in the mirror and see if we can remember where the expression came from. So, okay, encyclopedia, we've got +1 because of the hat. Let's just give a quick check. Yeah, that's right. That gives us +3 encyclopedia. Were the hat and the glasses the only thing that affected that? Might be. What about, how far along are we on this? The Insulinian Miracle? Okay, so hour 31 minutes left. So tomorrow in day 6, we will be finishing internalizing the Insulinian Miracle, and I'm very curious to see what that does. All right, let's see if we can pass this encyclopedia check.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, adorned with the expression.
58%. Let's see. He did take the smokes. I guess we don't have any left. I guess he took all of them.
An old mirror hangs.
So we could see if we could get an int
your face in it.
Increase from the chat. So why don't we do that now and see if we can increase our encyclopedia up to 7? and see if we can find out where the expression came from. I don't want to get rid of it, actually, because the expression is part of our character, but I would like to know where it came from. 72%. Okay. Can we remember the source of the expression?
Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now.
We cannot. Encyclopedia, currently at 7. Yeah, well, unfortunately, we cannot redo that check again right now. So, I guess the only thing we can do is go to bed. And dreams...
Comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest.
Let's dream the sweet dreams that Raphael's dreams.
The place feels almost like home now. Quiet and dignified around you. A new life by the seaside. You're incredibly tired. The darkness and warmth come fast. You're falling asleep.
It's easier this time. Drifting off, your head has found a comfortable indent in the pillow. Your legs and your torso feel like lead weights sinking to the bottom of the sea until they're suddenly light.
This respite, you've earned it, brother. Bask in the darkness. Let it swallow you up and swivel you around while you forget everything you've managed to remember.
Is this the last dream?
No, this is the one before that. We'll just keep cycling it for you if you don't mind. As long as we can. Spin it like black yarn.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Thank you, darkness. Thank you.
You're welcome, Harry boy. You earned it.
Fall into a deep, uninterrupted sleep.
After centuries of darkness, the alarm rings. But what's this? You actually feel rested. There's no time to cuddle with your pillow, however, or as much as shiver from the cold. The world awaits.
Go.
Open your eyes. And this is the beginning of day 6. And I guess that's the game saying you sure are taking your time. And we ran out of bad dreams for you to have. So here we go. We got a good night's sleep for once. We're beginning day 6. So if you think about what we did on day 5, we did quite a lot. One of the most important things, of course, is that we danced. And we got Kim to dance. I mean, that was not tonight's session, but that was something that happened in day 5. What do we have on deck for day 6? Okay, so we'll go to the apartments behind where Kuno is and see if we can take down his dad. And I don't know if we have to wait for Kim to go to bed to split the kilo with Kuno. It seems likely. But hey, we'll get to meet Kuno's dad. I'm sure he's going to be a very pleasant fellow. Dolores Day figurines. We still don't know what that means. Talk to the cryptozoologist, so we can do that early in the day as well. Ruby on the Coast is the thing we do when we want to actually advance the game. Determine where the shot came from. Oh, right. We would want to... Probably the first thing we want to do is talk to Lillian, is her name? To see if she can take the boat out to the island. Because he did say that she would be doing that at some point. And see if we can go to the island and finally examine the third location for the bullet traces. So that's the first thing. Klostya, well, I mean, we would have to wait for night to fall again. Find the murder weapon. Locate a working firearm. We have never actually done this. I assume this might be like a story thing, but because these side quests have not resulted in us finding the murder weapon, our task list has gotten real small. It's real small at this point. So, talk to Lillian about the boat, see if we can do that. Then talk to the cryptozoologists, see if we can advance that. Then go take down Kuno's dad. And that seems to be what's on deck in day 6. We probably will continue reading the communism book. And if, we finish enough of these quests, if like there's really not much else, I guess we will finally look for Ruby on the coast and advance the story of the game. So, for right now, I'm going to save the game. And once again, say goodbye as we finish tonight's session of Disco Elysium. Boombox on our shoulder, ready for the infinite possibilities that a new day will bring. And we'll find out if we actually are able to realize any of those possibilities next time